Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here, another Bring the Noise AMA ahead of the Week 11 main slate. We already got action underway in España. Maybe already popped a cork on some Tempranillo this morning, as it looks like Washington's about to tie this thing up. I got it in real time. The kick is up, and it's good! 3-3. Commanders and Dolphins in a game in which both teams logged some long drives, unable to find the end zone, but accumulating some stats there in the process. Chris Rodriguez finally getting his opportunity. I always felt he was a better break tackle back in that overall backfield. Ja'Cory Cross came married yet to log a touch, where Rodriguez already 5 carries for 20 yards on that initial drive. Again, just under 3 minutes ago in the first quarter, 3-3 Washington and Miami there in España. All right. I'm going to be here for the next several minutes answering your pressing fantasy football needs. If you have any questions that you would like to share with me, maybe got some betting thoughts as well that you want to toss out there. You see right there on your screen, various ways to contact me here on this Bring the Noise AMA. Submit your questions via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube and the Faith the Noise channel, or on X, where I'm always trying to give it to you there, at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X, at Noisy Huevos. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a middle finger emoji. Give me something, a heart. I don't care. Just interact with the content however you see fit, whether with your questions, some of the emojis that you're tossing out there. Always providing a free service to hashtag Team Huevos every single day, not only on this platform, wherever you're consuming this, but also on my other one, thegamingjuice.com. Go there, you jackals. Again, I don't charge you a single cent, and I know pennies are about to be eliminated from circulation. You didn't need them anyway. And so go to my website. I'm always updating my rankings every single week on that site at thegamingjuice.com. Half point PPR is what I rank for. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight ends. So we got some breaking news. Keon Coleman is officially not going to be active today against the matchup versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers due to a coach's decision. So the cover getting even more bare vertically. Remember, no Dalton Kincaid either for the Buffalo Bills. So maybe more Khalil Shakir, maybe more touches on the ground to James Cook, and possibly Josh Allen as well. All right, get back to thegamingjuice.com. My site is awesome. It's me. I'm a one-man band, folks. I'm building everything. I'm cutting the photos. I'm working the CMS, putting everything together. We got awesome content, not only from when I'm cranking out my fantasy flames every single week at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. My NFL top props live on the site. My Sunday night football thoughts tonight live on the site. Even my favorite prop play tomorrow live on the site. Have all my free picks. You can access a free spreadsheet there. I'm white hot right now in the world of college basketball, arguably the sport that I actually profit the most in annually in the sports betting ranks. You can ask me a question there throughout the entire week in our slow chat. Just click Ask Brad. Check out the awesome piece that I put together from Matt Fortuna, Ben Wittenstein, and Nate Jacobs in the college football forecast. We'll have another edition of that coming up on Thursday. Nate Lundy's a free and always public, transparent spreadsheet lives on the site. You get it all at thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe. And also go to my friends at Betalytics. If you like a lot of the projections that are out there, one of the most indispensable resources that I use every single day in all of my research, whether in the player props market or on traditional sides and totals across sports, or more than just the NFL. They're even doing fearless forecasts now on college hoops. So I compare my notes with theirs every single day in the events algorithm that they're cranking out. So go to Betalytics.com and use that promo code JUICE. Again, that's promo code JUICE for 25% off. You got to sign up on their website. You can't do it on mobile. So, although they do have a brand new app, but sign up with that promo code JUICE at betalytics.com to get that 25% off. All right. As your questions are locking and loading here on this AMA, and again, those are the various ways you can contact me. Let me give you an abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. And numero tres, I love me some Christian Watson today. The Green Bay Packers taking on the miniaturized Giants of New York. I took the over 37.5 receiving yards. You look at the Giants, largely pedestrian versus a pass, number 22. And they drop back EPA defense. Have allowed the third most wide receiver yards this season. 19 WRs have had at least 38 yards against them. And he's going to see a lot of Deontay Banks in coverage. Why is that important? Well, Banks is giving up only an 86.4% catch rate and one of the highest, the fourth highest passer rating at 147.6 of any defensive back in the NFL. Watson is cruise passes prop in each of his first three games, and there goes Devon Achane. Man, he is going to have monster game, although there's a flag on the field, probably going to come back, likely holding. But you look at Watson, he's averaging 23.5 yards per catch. He's got an ADOT close to 26. He's gone 85, 58, and 45 yards in his first three games. I think he's wide receiver 3 material. I wrote about him in my Fantasy Flames piece at wide receiver and tight end on the gamingjuice.com. Again, you can read all the gory details right now, but I like Watson over 37.5 receiving yards against a G-Man at a minus 115 at BetMGM. Never knows here on the abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. I would live and land down under on Saquon Barkley. Those quads ain't going to flex a whole lot. Not against Hutchinson and the Lions. Minus 115, by the way, grab this at BetMGM. Detroit number 11 in rush EPAD. They've allowed the 4th fewest rush yards to the running back position. They're only giving up 71.7 rush yards per game to RBs. And what has Barkley really done this season except disappoint? He's only been over this prop twice. That is astonishing this deep into the season. And folks, he is dead last, rock bottom, the true dregs of the keg in terms of yards after contact per attempt as tracked there at PFF. I know the missed tackles force is up, highly ranked because of the volume. And I know the Eagles' run blocking is still a top 10 unit, but Saquon just not finding the creases, not breaking the tackles. I think he is going to hit the under on 73.5 yards under the primetime lights today against the Detroit Lions. And there goes Achane. Oh, a big gainer there, about 17 yards on a 2nd and 10. Dude alone probably should run for 100. I loved him in rushing plus receiving yards. I grabbed him at 125 at plus money, believe it or not. All right, numero uno on the abbreviated edition of the Fade 5. Before I get to your questions, Rice, baby. Yeah, that's right. Give me Rashee Rice. Most receiving yards of the game in Denver against the no-fly zone. No, Patches are 10. Ain't going to play. I love this prop at a plus 120, and I grabbed it at BetMGM. Rice is going to see his usual dose of targets, probably more between 7 to 9, maybe as many as 10. And when he's lined up outside, which he plays like 75% of his snaps in that position, he's going to get a lot of Riley Moss. That is the expectation in coverage, who's allowed the 4th most yards of any defensive back in the NFL. So I think Rashee Rice is going to go off. Broncos, I think, sound the fraud alerts. I don't think they're anywhere close to what the record indicates. And again, without Surtain, I think they could be humbled there in the Mile High City. So give me Rashee Rice to have the most receiving yards in the game in Denver at a plus 120. And I banked that there at BetMGM. All right, folks, let's get to your questions. Again, these are the ways you can contact moi on these Bring the Noise AMA. Submit your questions to your Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube and the Fade the Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. So let's go ahead and get after it. They're coming fast. And of course, they are coming furious. Oh, it's batting lead off here. It is Ed. Ed on X says Cortland Sutton or Jacoby Myers in a PPR. Thanks, Noise. Honestly, this is really close. With Brian Thomas not being able to suit up today for Duval County and those Jacksonville Jaguars, you're taking on the LA Chargers. They've been a top 10 unit and drop back EPA defense. But Jacoby Myers, given his days there in the West, knows all about the matchup against this defense. I kind of like him a little bit more than Sutton. I think the strength of Kansas City is clear on the back end. They have a true weakness, and that is more or less defending the run in the trenches. Could be an RJ Harvey kind of day with J.K. Dobbins out and not going to be returning for the foreseeable future, according to Ian Rappaport at NFL Network, but slight advantage to Jacoby Myers. TB12, BB6. Hola, Brad. Hola to you. PPR Flex. Let's see. A.J. Brown, Swift, or Henry. I got to go with Derrick Henry. I mean, it's really close between him and Swift. A.J. Brown, how can you trust him? I certainly can't. I know Squeaky Wheel may get the grease based on some of the content and comments that he had, saying, yeah, man, if you're in fantasy, you might want to consider, like, getting rid of me. That's what he said on a Madden stream earlier this week. But frankly, I still go with Derrick Henry. Slight advantage there over DeAndre Swift. Not a bad, really 1B option, but you got to roll with Henry despite a difficult matchup there against the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, Sean says, hola, amigo. Hola. Half-point PPR, need one flex out of these. Woody Marks. I may just stop you there. I mean, you got DeMarcano, mandatory Montgomery at Jackals, and Parker Washington. Bro, you got to take advantage of the matchup. Woody Marks has one of the mother of all matchups today, as Tennessee is number 27 to rush EPAD. They've given up 4.92 yards per carry, 114.3 rush yards per game. I bet on Marks on the over on his rush yards prop. I grabbed it early this week at 61.5. I think he's got to eclipse 70 yards on the ground. Great shot to find the end zone. He played a season high 81.3% of the snaps last week. He gets that kind of volume. He's getting a lot of balls to the belly in a game in which I believe H-Town, somebody rocking the boots, is going to win. Phil's, hola, amigo. I need a running back at 2 flex for PPR. Gatson, Parker, Washington, Quentin Johnson. Oh, my God, he's running his entire team. Tess Johnson, Ricky Pearsall, Henry, Chase, Maple Syrup, Brown, always getting down with some Chase Brown. I actually have Derrick Henry ever so slightly higher. I would probably go with Chase Brown and one of the flex options. So you got Henry, you got your flex. And what is the second flex out of this conundrum? Ricky Pearsall could be accumulate rust and dust. I kind of like Quentin Johnston, quite frankly. I bet on him at the over 3.5 receptions. Took him at the all market at 5+ catches at 2-1 odds. He's got a great matchup. One mono in coverage as well. So that's what I roll with. Good luck to you, Phils. The only sudden, Ola, I need a tight end and a flex and a half-point PPR. Kittle, Ferguson, KW3, and Shaheed. Honestly, I will go with Kittle and Ferguson. I'm going to go with both tight ends. I think both have an excellent chance of finding the end zone. I think Ferguson's a guy that could certainly, show up and have a showcase game, as I'm watching Ollie Gordon get a carry here up the middle. In business are the Miami Dolphins inside the red zone. It's going to be second and short, knock on the door, a splash and 6. I need Tua to throw one into the end zone, preferably to Waddle. Hopefully that'll happen. But I'm going to go with both tight ends there, only Sutton. Let's see. Bronx Zoo says, start Calvin Ridley. What are the other options? You got to give me some choices here. That's kind of an open-ended question. I got him barely ranked as a top 45 wideout this week. I'm starting him because I don't have a whole lot of options in my leagues, and I play in like 14-teamers, 16-teamers, just ridiculously deep leagues with multiple flexes. So that gives you an indication. I just think he's a middling option, especially with the soft tissue issues that could always flare up in game. Ryan says, hola, amigo. Hola, Ryan. PBR start 2 between DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Aaron Jones, or Hawkinson. I know DK Metcalf has been a difficult start, rather untrustworthy. Really, same story applies to A.J. Brown. I'm going to go Aaron Jones and DK Metcalf. I got to take advantage against the Bungles. They arguably have the worst defense in the National Football League. Also, Rodgers or Knicks. I'm going to go with the ancient one, Aaron Rodgers, and I'm watching Tua go down for a nasty sack on 3rd and 2. Miami's got to Miami, folks. As they're getting an opportunity, though, to split the uprights and a field goal kicking contest so far, potentially grab a 6-3 lead across the pond in Spain. So there you go, Ryan. Hope that answers your question. Rob says Joe Flacco or Caleb Williams. I'm going to go with Caleb. It's really close with Flacco. Flacco should be good for 250 and 2. I think he has a higher floor, but I think the higher ceiling belongs, believe it or not, to Caleb Williams because of the scoring duality and the rushing ability that he possesses. So I'm going to go that direction there, Rob. Laura says, would you start Darnold or Love you? I'd probably go with Jordan Love. I mean, it's close with Sam Darnold. If there is an area you could take advantage of the LA Rams, it's certainly via the pass game. And JSN is sitting at the round table of elite wide receivers right now. He's been unstoppable this season, but I like Jordan Love ever so slightly more just because of the matchup. I mean, the Giants are number 22 in drop back EPA defense, so I will maximize the matchup. Good luck to you, Laura. Zachary says, hola, Brad, 2 questions. Caleb or JJM? It's going to be Caleb for me. Also leaning JJM. So that is JJ McCarthy and Ferguson or Schultz. I'm going to go with Ferguson. I'm going to lean a little bit more with Caleb Williams. I know the Bears have their issues on the back end. I think those stats are going to be comparable. It's a lucky 7 situation, no matter how you slice it, in my estimation. Aubrey says, hola, Aubrey. Let's see, a flex. Rico, Aaron Jones, or Chase Brown? I'm going to go with Rico. Dowdle all day. I got to maximize the matchup there. You look at Atlanta. They have been absolutely picked apart on the ground this season. They're bottom 5 right now in rush EPA defense. Rico Dowdle's just, if you look at the props market and where the odds makers set the line, I saw it up at a 90.5. That may be a wee bit aggressive, but Duke could certainly get to a hundo based on the matchup alone. So I think it's a little bit more valuable than my guy always getting down with the maple syrup there and Chase Brown, just not in this scenario. Yeah, I can bury the bias, folks. And Baker Mayfield or Stafford, I'm going to go with Stafford. Peter says, morning, Brad, go Knicks. Sure. Yeah, I'm not a Knicks fan. Not really a big NBA guy. College basketball is my jam, baby. That BYU UConn finish last night was something, to say the least, as UConn barely got by. And BYU got your boy the cover at a plus 5.5. Would you start Loveland or Komet is back? Yeah, man. I actually bet on Colson Loveland in an alt yardage market this morning. I would talk to a Bears beat reporter on my radio show nationally. You got to check it out, folks. It's called BetMGM tonight. Airs on Odyssey stations, iHeart stations, and it streams on thegamingjuice.com, 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. We have a lot of insiders on, always trying to provide as much information to the audience as I can with real boots on the ground. And we had a Bears beat writer on, and he was talking up how Colson Loveland is going to be a fixture in this passing offense, according to Ben Johnson, rest of season. So I would start him with supreme confidence today. Bandit says, half point PPR, Quentin Johnston or Rashid Shaheed. I'm going to go with Quentin Johnston. Again, a guy I feel could catch upwards of 5 passes today. He's got that hands transplant in the off seasons I joke about. Antonio Gates donating his hands, reliable mitts to science, and they've been fixed to Quentin Johnston's arms, and he's been catching everything inside. Only got a couple of drops this year. So that's a direction I go and take advantage of that matchup. Patrick says, hola, Brad, Guillotine League. Abuko or Nico? I'm going to go with Nico. I got Nico in the top 10. I have Emeka. I think at wide receiver 11 in my rankings this week on thegamingjuice.com. Hurts or Lamar? I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. Threw for 4 touchdowns the first matchup against Cleveland. I think he's going to throw at least a couple of today. It's a little breezy in Seatown, but nothing overly, dragging in terms of meteorological events that are going on there. Sun is out. No precip. Temps are going to be in the high 40s. Quite pleasant along the shores there of Lake Erie. Bandit says one more. Broncos or Seahawks? Dude, I can't go really with either one of these defenses. If you got to go with one, I suppose Seattle. I don't feel great about it. You're going to be lucky to get, I think, 5 points at either one of those. Tommy says, good morning, Bradley. Oh, my fancy name. Hi, Bradley. Full point PPR pick 3. Sutton, Monty, Watson, Dobbs, Addison, and pick one from Schultz, Knox, and Freiermuth. I'm going to go with Freiermuth, who I've been on anytime touchdown at plus 240 on BetMGM today. And then the 3 on the wide receiver and mandatory Montgomery. Well, it's mandatory. You got to play Montgomery. I think he's got to find the end zone. Give me Watson and Addison as well. Good luck to you, Tommy. There you go. I think I set your team's entire lineup. Ooh, nice completion there to Zach Ertz. It hurts so good. Todd says, hola, Brad, a Khalil Shakir or a Keenan Allen at my flex. I'm going to go with Shakir now that Keenan Coleman has been a healthy scratcher ruled out. Then Dak or Justin Herbert at quarterback this week. Both very similar in my rankings. I got Herbert a little bit higher. Dak's all of a sudden running. I don't know if that's going to sustain and keep up, but I like Herbert ever so more. It's a very slight. It's really close in that dilemma. But again, honestly, I think both those guys will likely eclipse the 20-yard mark on the pass yards game as I'm watching Chris Rodriguez rumble down at the line. Again, he's getting all the touches, folks. JCM, if you spent high draft capital on him, condolences. I was trying to warn people. That's like one of the rare things I got right in fantasy preseason. I'm like, I think people are overhyping. Bill this, Bill that, Bill the other thing. Oh, we love JCM. Let me uncinch the belts. How much I love him. And I'm like, Chris Rodriguez is a better break tackle back. Dan Quinn's just got to realize it. And finally, they're giving him a shot to do that as Miami just picked up a bad hit there as a personal foul flag comes out. And Washington going to be knocking the door, a splash and 6. All right, moving on. Dave says, PPR, JMO, Vidal, Addison, or Monty for the flex. I'm going to go with Kamani. Slight advantage over Dave Montgomery, and then Jordan Addison and JMO are also, I mean, these are all very closely ranked in my opinion, but I'll go with the guaranteed work there and Kamani Vidal. Rob with question number 2. Hola, Brad. PPR pick 1. Pollard, Walker, Dalton Schultz, or Chubb. Chubb is out, especially in the PPR. Walker is kind of out. Pollard's out. I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz. All he does is catch 5 balls every damn week. So continue to ride that hot hand. Rogers says, hola, Brad, pick 1. Rogers, Flacco, Brissett, or Baker, the touchdown maker. Ooh, I'm going to maximize the matchup here. Give me Joe Flacco in the battle of wrinkly QBs, and hopefully it'll be similar than what we saw the first time around, which was a pinball kind of matchup with that scoreboard really lighting up. Clint says, hola, amigo, need a full point PPR. Pick here, Senor, Gold, or Gadsden, Common Unguy, or Freiermuth. Freiermuth is my guy. I don't think he's going to catch a shit ton of balls by any stretch of the imagination, but could you get like 3-4 grabs, 40 yards, and a tutty? Yeah, I think he's got the highest floor of the group. If you're chasing ceiling, it's probably with Arante Gadsden. It's not Common Unguy, who's clearly going to be the second fiddle today against the Minnesota Vikings. Pick 2 of 4 in a K-Man standard PPR. Yeah, man, you got to really convince your league mates to evolve and move on with the times. Nice play there, my Mariota could not connect in the end zone. Let's see. So standard touchdowns are everything. So Gadsden, Andrews, Hunt, or DJ Moore. Gadsden is in. And you know what? I'd probably go Kareem Hunt, believe it or not. I think he's going to find the end zone. So, again, touchdowns weigh so much in the standard format. Those are 2 guys I go with. Steve says, hola, sir. Full point PPR, please. Shakir, Michael Wilson, or Troy Franklin. Again, with the news on Keon Coleman being out, Shakir's target share should spike today. Hola, amigo, from AF and a bunch of numbers. Hunt or Tucker? Ooh, man, that's really close. Look, I like Sean Tucker quite a bit. Talking about taking advantage of the matchup. Bills can't stop anybody on the ground, especially power backs. I think they're going to be similar when it's all said and done, but I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt there. Rake Flyer says, I total 5 key rank numbers on both sides. I have no idea what the hell any of that means. Congratulations. Jake says, hola, amigo. JJ McCarthy or Joe Flacco? I'm going to go with Joe Flacco. Tommy says, PPR flex. Emeka Buka, automatic start. Watson, Myers, or White. There you go, dude. Automatic start, Emeka Buka. I don't know how you could send him. Guy's a king of consistency. Probably a good bet for 5 catches, at least 60 yards, and, always a likelihood for a touchdown. Roger says, hola, pick one, full point PPR. Vidal, Hunt, or Judkins. There I go, Judkins. Really good shot for him to go like 75 yards and a touchdown at home as Mariota takes a sack. And I believe that was 3rd and 10. And it's going to be 4th down. Another field goal opportunity. Maybe somebody score a touchdown. Be nice. Guillermo says, hola, Brad. Full point PPR. Pick one in the flex. Judkins, Woody Marks, Johnson, or Gatson. It's Woody Marks. Points marks the spot. Again, you got to take advantage of the matchup there against the Tennessee Titans, number 27 in the NFL in rush EPA defense. And, if Davis Mills performs like it did last week, that's a great boon, really, for the ground game. And we'll see a lot of sack fronts. It's not going to really matter. Houston should have their way in the trenches. Am I saying that correctly? Houston winning in the trenches? Yeah, they should. That's how bad Tennessee's run defense is. From Sean Uno Moss, I guarantee Sean will have 3 more. Tight end, half-point PPR, need 1. Evan Ingram, Brock Wright, Greg Dulcich, I think he's already playing, or Darnell Washington. I roll the dice on Brock Wright with no Sam Laporta. Another one from Roger. I think he's up to 3. I just cashed you over on 2.5 questions. Full boy PPR, Kittle or Gadsden. I'm going to go with Kittle. Paul says Aaron Jones or Rashad White. I'm going to go with Aaron Jones. It's close, though. Especially with Bucky Irving out. Jesse says, hola, Brad. Non-PPR, so another standard leaguer. Pick the knuckles off the ground. Need a tight end. Otten, Pitts, or Freiermuth. Give me Freiermuth. Although Pitts is a really close 1B. Don't like Otten because the Buffalo Bills have been outstanding defending tight ends, giving up the fewest yards to that position this year. And PPR, Calvin Austin or David Njoku. Bro, you gotta take advantage of the matchup. The Bengals stink. They're repulsive. Give me Calvin Austin. Clint says, Uno Mas. Give me a quarterback or wide receiver that might complete a 40-yard pass today. Also, any upsets today in baskets? Houston off? No. Houston's going to roll. I'd be shocked, honestly. Loyola Chicago or Colorado State, that is a possibility. So if you're going to go with an upset there, I go with it. I only got a couple of tickets open in college basketball today. It's not the strongest slate. I think Houston's going to just smack Auburn. I really do. I could be wrong in that belief, but Auburn has not greatly impressed me. See the Bethune-Cookman game from a few days ago. Meanwhile, going back to your other question here, 40-yard pass today. You could always go with a Joe Flacco, maybe Aaron Rodgers as well. Somebody, one of those 2 quarterbacks going to complete a 40-yard pass, in my guesstimation, in a game that could be the highest scoring. And you could bet on that, by the way. It's like plus 600 that Steelers and Bengals will be the highest scoring game of the week. But, it's either going to be Flacco or Rodgers. Those would be my 2 choices for a 40-yard completion. Let's see. Derek says Dak or Flacco this week. Again, I'll go with Joe Flacco. I can't believe I'm saying that in the year over Fantasy Lords 2025. Adam says PPR, DJ Moore, Gatson, or X gonna give it to you. X ain't gonna give it to you. I would sit Worthy down. Give me DJ Moore. A slight advantage there over on a Gatson. Disagree? Well, go to thegamingjuice.com, bro. I wrote about it in my fantasy flames at wide receiver and tight end this week. Hey, I have no idea what kind of accent that was. Phil says Williams anytime touchdown and 200 plus pass yards, and McCarthy with anytime touchdown and 200 plus pass yards for plus 49.55. Okay, good luck. I don't play like ridiculous, stupid, long odd parlays because I like winning and I'm trying to be profitable on the year. I mean, what is the chance you're going to hit that? It's extreme. It's long. There are a lot of people that build those kind of parlays. Yeah, okay. Do it for S's and G's. Have a little fun. Sprinkle a little pizza money on it if you want. But ultimately, I'm not somebody who's going to subscribe to that. There are other markets. I'd get it down to like plus 200, plus 150, something that's more believable. That's how I approached betting and gambling. Patrick says, took Achane on first TD scorer and 75 plus yards. Ooh. Well, we'll see. I mean, that first touchdown score is still live because it's just field goal, field goal, field goal. We'll see if Achane can get in. He should at some point, but will be the first guy maybe on this drive with under 6.5 minutes remaining there in that first quarter in España. And the game again being 6-3 right now. Miami as Tua takes another sack. Well, Tua keeps taking sacks. Nothing's going to happen because that's fourth down. So ball going back to the Commanders. Another snooze fest. Should have slept in instead of opening up the app and firing off some bets and this stupid Spain matchup between the Miami Dolphins and Washington Commanders. Derek says sit one, White or ETN. Probably ETN. I'll take advantage of any running back against the Buffalo Bills. Chris says Hunt, DK, or Franklin for the flex. Give me Kareem Hunt. I'm going to rapid fire through some of these. Jeremy says, let's see. Roll Goats, Navy about to make the college football playoff. Bank it now. I think that's a distinct possibility. Pick 4. One has to be a receiver. DK, Tet, Chase Brown, Vidal, Pearsall, Dowdle. Dowdle's in. And let's see, Brown is in, Vidal is in. Okay, so you're going to play all three of the running backs that you list. And I will go with DK Metcalf, barely over Ricky Pearsall. Ted is out of the equation there. Chris says Herbert or Josh Allen. I'm going to go with Herbert, barely. AF says pick 3. Woody, Dowdle, Warren, and Bijan. Bijan has to be in. Warren has to be in. Enrico has to be in. I love all these. This is what I call lucky 7 situation. I don't think you can lose with any of those guys starting, but I like the back end 3. Jesse says, Senor Brad, hola. Non-PPR, AJ Brown or Shakir. How can you trust Brown, bro? I can't. Inner excellence. Maybe he's ready to cover again this week, but I'm not buying a rebound. So give me Khalil in a PBR and then a tight end, Fryer Muth. Again, Kate Otton's matchup is horrendous on paper, and I follow the number on the data. So that's where I'm going to go there. How's Love and Go to do today? I don't know exactly. Let me fearlessly forecast his line. I'm going to say 4 grabs for 37 yards, and I say he finds the end zone as well. I'm probably underselling him on yards, quite frankly. Jeremy says, Kyle Manungai or bam! I'll go with Manungai. Higher TD appeal. Tez or Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson is interesting. I'm going to go Michael Wilson. I think there's a little bit more upside there. I just don't trust anything with Bryce Young at all. He's just continuously let me down every single week. Yeah, and I have him in a couple of super flex leagues. I don't like you right now, Bryce Young. The only Sutton, would you drop KW3 for Marks rest of season? Interchangeable, quite frankly. If you want to chase the upside, it's probably with Marks. But you're obviously playing in a shallow league, so you can get away with it. Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll have the hot hand. The matchups upcoming are certainly flavorful for the Houston Texans, especially down the stretch. Joe says, I can't decide which quarterback to start. Hurts or Flacco? I go with Joe Flacco. I think he's got the higher floor. Plus, I need a flex. DK or ETN? I go with DK. I know, he's a bit of a dice roll, clack, but I say roll the dice. Good luck. Keep dropping that sledgehammer. You know what? Constantly do, especially on BetMGM tonight. Listen to the radio show, folks. Several of you are like, oh, I miss you on Sirius XM. Where are you? Where can I find your content? Go to my website at thegamingjuice.com. We're streaming the video version of BetMGM tonight every Monday through Friday for 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. So you have no excuse. It's very convenient, easily located, and I don't charge you a dime. Jeremy says Winston, JJ, or Brissett. Give me JJ McCarthy. GFGF, how do you feel about starting Harvey over Henry? I don't feel great about it. I would start Derrick Henry still. But there is an argument to be had, especially in a PPR for RJ Harvey. It's up to you. Jeremy says, Ted or T Higgins? Give me the higher upside. Totally belongs to T. Steve says, could use a wide receiver in a flex, please, out of McMillan, Shakir, Swift. Okay, Swift's in. Trey Tucker and Vidal. I would play Swift barely over Vidal. And then I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir at wide receiver. Brock says, Ola, Jameis, or Eli Manning. Eli Manning in his current state, it depends how much Jersey Mike's he's consumed. Give me Jameis. And I bet on Jameis, it seems like automatic, like a layup. He's got to throw at least an INT. You watch, he'll have like a perfect game and throw over like 305 touchdowns. Evan says, Ola, PBR flex, Parker Washington, or mandatory Montgomery. Touchdown dependent and mandatory Montgomery. Yeah, mandatory Montgomery, you jackals. I'm going to go there. The Don says Marks or White. Give me Marks. Keith says bonjour. Oh, bonjour, Keith. Got to choose quarterback too between Purdy and Brissett. Give me Purdy. Oh, he's so Purdy. That's what this Jack Wagon's going to ride with. Justin says, hola, amigo, Ted McMillan or Dobbs. I'll go Dobbs. Keith's got another question. Let me get in one more. 3 running backs out of Henry, Jacobs, Etienne, and Harvey. Etienne sits. I'm going to play Henry Jacobs for sure, and I'll play RJ Harvey. I'm not going to sit Derrick Henry. I know it's a difficult matchup, but he is a one-gash kind of runner. He gets one lane, gets that momentum built downhill, and he gone for like a 70-yarder, and I think you'd sorely regret the downside of sitting him, obviously, and not getting the upside of those points. Will says, Debo or Pearsall on a standard? Well, Debo's playing right now, bro. It's kind of hard to insert him into your lineup if he already started. This is why you got to check the schedule. This is the last year of games. You don't have to worry about it, but there's your answer. Jeremy, we need the sledgehammer. Daddy want. Daddy gotta have it. All right. So Musgrave, no offense. Dawson Knox or Nkonkwo. This is sledgehammer worthy. I guess I would go with Dawson Knox. Touchdown upside. That's about it. Oh, there's JCM. Finally, he's got one carry for -1. He just got a reception. Oh, yes. Oh, the people that spent like round 5, round 6 draft capital on him. I point the finger at you. Jesse says, one more. I have a good problem. Need a wide receiver to flex. Roma Dunze, Judkins, Rasheed Rice, Higgins. My God. Yeah, you've got a lot of fantastic options. Are you in a 4-team league? Congratulations. I'm not having a whole lot of friends, Jesse. Or you just did an exceptional job at drafting. That's a distinct possibility. Rice has got to be in. And I will play Higgins for the other one. But, yeah, it's a great problem to have. I'm so envious. Anthony says, Buenos dias, amigo. Hola, amigo. Sutton, Burton, or Pearsall. Give me Ricky P. Props a Nation says Flacco or Stafford, 300+ yard bonus league. Oh, you got to go with Flacco, man. Again, got to take advantage. That Seattle secondary is legit. Jonathan says, need help, Guru. Oh, man, that's an old nickname from like my high school and college days. Flacco or Baker? I'm going to go with Flacco. Kyron Williams or Jordan Addison, PPR need one. Kyron Williams, could be sneaky good as a receiver today because of Seattle's issues defending the short field. They've given up the most receptions to the running back position. Jonathan says, need one PPR flex or one, not a flex, excuse me, just one a PPR. DK, Metcalf, Higgins, or Addison. I'm going to go tee off with T. Higgins. Danny says, Daddy want, Daddy need. Daddy gotta have it. Again, I'm breaking out the sledgehammer every night, folks, on BetMGM tonight. So, if you like that bit, you can still listen to it all the time or just, catch me here on Sundays. Danny always follows up with the question, A.J. Brown or mandatory Montgomery? I'm going to go mandatory Montgomery because of the touchdown appeal, which A.J. Brown has rarely seen a red zone target this season. Let me give you a reminder, folks, who the hell I am and why am I so loud? Well, I'm Brad the Big Noise Evans. This is called Bringing the Noise. It is my weekly AMA. answering all of your various fantasy football and sports betting questions ahead of the Week 11 main slate of NFL games. We have a bit of a slog, although a lot of guys are, maximizing the opportunities in this game in España. We're down the 2-minute warning in the first half, 6-3 Miami. Shockingly low scoring. I'd have to look at the live total and bet the over in the second half. Again, teams are moving the ball. They're just not converting for touchdowns. And Chris Rodriguez playing well. I wrote about him as a possible flex deep dive candidate on my site, thegamingjuice.com, and my fantasy flames at running back pace is already 8 for 41 in this contest. And if you look at Devon Achane killing it, 7 for 53 on the ground. Waddle's got 2 for 21 as well in this game. Dolchich 2 for 18. Malik Washington 1 for 18. Achane also has a couple of grabs for 7. Your leading receivers so far, Zach Ertz, 5 targets, 3 grabs for 39. I need Waddle to kind of pick it up because I got a little money on him for certain thresholds and leading the game in receiving yards. So, yep, 6-3 Miami. 2-minute warning there in Spain. All right, so there are the various ways to get a hold of me here on the broadcast. So make your questions via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch Big Noise 78, YouTube in the Feed the Noise channel, or on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. And please check out my free site, thegamingjuice.com. You can't, hurl epithets at me at all because everything is 100% free. All of my award-winning content lives there. I'm most decorated writer in fantasy football, really fantasy sports history. So I do all the self-editing, all the building, and I do it for the love of creating the written word and content. You can have your stupid AI robots. Oh, yeah, let me go to ChatGPT. And it takes all the fun and personality out of content creation. You get that with me. I'm going to give you all the facts that any AI program can give you and some other ones that AI programs don't give you because they don't go completely with a deep dive on every single advanced analytic, which I may feel is strong support for a certain bet or a certain recommendation in fantasy. You might get a pop culture reference. We're all about infotainment, all about having fun and our content creation. You get that at thegamingjuice.com. Support writers and not robots, folks. They will become self-aware, and then we're all really screwed in the process. All right, let me go and get back to your various questions. Only a couple left here, it looks like. Colin says, is Davis going to do anything for Buffalo? Thinking about using him for a low price option in DFS. Maybe I don't like the matchup this week because you're going to see some Vita Vea. I think there are probably some better low price options. I don't play salary cap DFS anymore. I stopped doing that years ago. It ain't my cup of tea. I know there are some excellent voices that are out there like Jeff Mans on SiriusXM. Jeff does a tremendous job. A good dude and knows everything about the DFS world. I dabbled in it for a while. I didn't like it. The deck was stacked against me. So I bailed and pivoted exclusively to betting because, I'm playing against the market. I'm playing against the house. I'm not playing against a bunch of other dudes with hundreds of lineups that they're putting in versus your single bullet lineup. So Davis, I don't think is the greatest option that is out there, not against that Tampa front, although they were gashed last week as Marcus Mariota takes off for about a 9-yard gain. Doug says, hola, standard league flex. Jennings, Parker Washington, Charbonnet, or Tez Johnson. Honestly, I'd probably go Tez here. Baker Mayfield's had eyes for Tez inside the red zone. And I know the Bills' strength is on the back end defensively. I think Baker is going to throw a couple of touchdown passes today. So give me Tez. I may not kill it in yardage, but maybe get you like 4 for 40 and that touchdown. You'll take that all diggity day long. Joe says, half-point PPR, Otten or Pitts? It's Pitts. Carolina's given up the 4th most tight end yards this season. And who has given up the fewest? The Buffalo Bills, who Kate Otten is facing. And then in terms of the other question, quarter a point. For a carry, half a point for PPR. Mark, Spears, Charbonnet, or DeMarcado. Woody Marks all day in a romp and a walk and ain't close. compared to those other options there. Mark says, half point BBR, Wandale, Worthy, or Ridley. I'm going to go with Wandale. Again, no Darius Slayton in the lineup. I know it's Jameis Winston, but, a guy's got oodles of experience, traditional pocket passer. We'll call his own number on occasion, but I think Wandale is a little bit more attractive. The only Sutton at half point PBR, Marks or ETN. Again, Marks for me. Speaking of Marks, let's go to Mark. Also, Standard K-Man League, Jones Sr. or Hunt. Again, touchdowns are everything. Good chance that Aaron Jones finds the end zone. So give me Aaron Jones, slight advantage there over Kareem Hunt. All right, it appears I have exhausted every single question on this edition of the AMA. Again, go to my website at thegamingjuice.com, sign up for a free account, and go to my friends at Betalytics and use that promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off their awesome tools and projections, whether you're playing fantasy football or dabbling in the world of sports betting. I'm going to be on the Bleacher Report app. It's also streaming on YouTube with myself. Danny Klebinger is out this week. She has an assignment for the Tennis Channel where she absolutely slays it all the time. So you're going to get more of a one-man band approach there. I'm going to be answering questions, firing off a whole bunch of prop bets as well on the Bleacher Report app in about an hour and 15 minutes. So go there, America, and check out more of this ugly and hideous face. Good luck in all of your fantasy and betting endeavors. And until next week, adios, amigos. Somebody score a damn touchdown already.